Welcome back to Dear Peachy. If you've ever felt like most makeup tutorials are designed for fair, pink-toned skin, today's tutorial is going to be a refreshing change. In this video, we'll be breaking down a beautiful Asian feature-enhancing makeup look specifically designed for healthy, sun-kissed complexions. Instead of trying to make the skin look lighter, this makeup style embraces warm golden undertones, enhances natural facial structure, and creates that effortlessly sophisticated glow often seen in modern Wasian-inspired beauty looks. The techniques featured in today's tutorial come from Meng, a professional bridal makeup artist with over 10 years of experience in the beauty industry. Meng is known for her ability to enhance natural features while maintaining harmony and authenticity, rather than relying on heavy makeup or dramatic transformations. She has built a strong following of nearly 60,000 beauty enthusiasts on Xiaohongshu, where she regularly shares detailed makeup tutorials. Her content is especially popular among viewers looking to create polished, elegant makeup that complements Asian features. If you enjoyed today's tutorial and would like to learn more from Meng, be sure to check out her Xiaohongshu page. Now let's get into the transformation. When the model first arrived, she was wearing her usual everyday makeup, but honestly, it wasn't working for her. The colors on her face didn't really match her skin tone or her overall vibe, making the look feel slightly disconnected. For deeper Asian skin tones, Meng often draws inspiration from Jaden's makeup philosophy. She has studied Jaden's live stream tutorials closely. And one key takeaway is how she works with natural complexion instead of against it. A naturally warm, wheat-toned skin paired with nude and soft rosy shades enhances Asian features beautifully. Instead of chasing a very pale or overly pink aesthetic, this approach strengthens the skin's original tone and character. First, Meng resets the canvas by removing the overly light foundation, bringing the skin back to its natural base. She then generously mists the entire face with a hydrating spray until the skin is almost dripping wet. This helps rehydrate the base before gently pressing the product into the skin until fully absorbed. At this point, you can still see some acne marks on the skin. The model's neck and arms also have a naturally sun-kissed tan, so choosing the correct foundation shade is essential. The foundation needs to closely match her actual skin tone. This not only covers blemishes effectively, but also prevents any visible mismatch between the face, neck, and body. Meng mixes two foundation shades together, a deeper shade and a lighter one, with more of the deeper tone in the mix. This custom blend ends up being extremely close to the model's natural complexion. And notice how the deeper foundation provides much better coverage for acne marks. When a foundation is too light, imperfections underneath tend to show through more clearly instead of being concealed. Meng applies the foundation evenly across the face, starting from the center and blending outward. Even areas like under the eyes and around the upper eye area can be naturally corrected simply by choosing the right foundation tone, which is why shade selection is so important. If the base looks slightly deep at first, it's not a problem. The center of the face will be brightened later using a lighter shade. Using a flat brush, Meng applies the lighter foundation to the inner areas of the face, from under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose. She blends it outward carefully, making sure it does not extend beyond the cheekbones, around the mouth, chin, T-zone, nose bridge, and nose tip. Then, Meng uses the clean side of a makeup sponge to press everything together, ensuring the two foundation shades melt seamlessly into each other without any visible boundaries. Extra pressure is applied around transition areas to eliminate any separation. There is still a few small acne marks remaining, so Meng applies a concealer that is just slightly deeper than the skin tone directly onto those spots. She gently taps around the edges with her fingertip until the product blends completely into the skin. The blemishes disappear naturally, and even areas like tear troughs and dark circles are now fully covered without looking heavy or cakey. For an Asian feature-enhancing makeup look like this, the nose should never be over-contoured into something too sharp or overly slim. Keeping a slightly soft and rounded structure is key to maintaining that natural harmony. So instead of pulling the nose into a very narrow shape, Meng slightly softens the shadow on both sides of the nose tip, spreading it out a little to avoid a harsh or pinched look. For the nose bridge contour, especially the double C zone, Meng first maps out 2 points starting from the inner corners of the eyes. From there, she connects the lines diagonally down toward the brow head area. However, instead of connecting directly into the brow, she stops about 3 millimeters behind the brow head. This creates a subtle reverse C shape that looks much more natural and lifted. If you have a shorter mid-face, you can also create 2 outward strokes in the center area to visually connect and balance the proportions. For the outer face contour, Meng slightly increases the intensity to enhance definition. This includes the sides of the forehead, the outer edges of the cheekbones, and the jawline. Any contour that is visible from the front should help create a subtle slimming effect around the outer perimeter of the face. Then she uses the clean side of a makeup sponge to gently press and blend everything into the base, ensuring the contour melts seamlessly into the foundation. For smaller, more detailed areas like around the nose, a small brush is essential. If you rely only on a sponge, it can easily disturb the placement or make the blending look patchy. This completes the first layer of structure. The idea is to establish a soft base definition first and then build intensity in the second layer. In this second layer, Meng focuses slightly more on key points like the nose tip and nose bridge, adding just a touch more depth for dimension. Next, for the inner corner of the eyes, Meng works closely along the model's natural inner corner triangle. She gently extends a pointed highlight forward, mimicking the original shape but enhancing it slightly. Then she softly diffuses it with a small brush so it blends naturally into the skin without any harsh edges. For contour and blush, Meng uses a multi-purpose cream product in a low-saturation nude brown shade. If you struggle with contour looking muddy or overly harsh, choosing a muted nude beige-brown tone instead of an ashy gray can create a much softer, more atmospheric shadow. For the cheekbones, Meng uses an angled blush brush. After warming the product with her fingertips, she picks it up with the brush and gently taps it onto the cheekbone area. If too much product is picked up, she lightly presses it on the lid to remove the excess before applying. She places the color directly on the highest point of the cheekbone, then blends it upward and slightly inward toward the center of the face. The result is a soft gradient effect, stronger in the center, fading toward the edges. This application technique helps sculpt the cheekbone naturally without disturbing the base makeup, while also wrapping the color around the bone structure. The final result creates that sun-kissed, healthy glow that is very characteristic of Asian-inspired makeup, natural, warm, and softly structured. For more dimension, Meng also layers a coral-toned blush on top. She first activates the product by gently swirling it with her fingertip, then applies it to the inner areas of the face using a brush. This coral shade helps brighten the center of the face while also adding a healthy flush of color, making the overall blush look more dimensional and lively instead of flat. Next, Meng switches back to the same brown nude blush shade. Using the edge of the brush, she picks up a small amount of product and gently taps it onto the nose tip. The application is very light, almost like pressing the color into the skin with the side of the brush. She also applies the same shade along the center of the nose bridge and revisits areas where contour has already been placed. This helps unify the entire face so that all the tones belong to the same color family, creating a more cohesive and atmospheric finish. For the eyeshadow, Meng also uses this brown nude shade as the base. She warms the product slightly between her fingers before applying it directly onto the eyelids. The color is placed close to the lash line first, then blended upward toward the upper eyelid crease. Any remaining pigment is softly diffused upward to create a seamless wash of color with no harsh edges. For the lower lash line, Meng blends the same shade from the outer corner inward using a small round detail brush. She first lays down the base color evenly, then softly extends it just beneath the lower lash line area to add subtle depth. The outer corner is always connected back to the upper eye makeup, so everything feels continuous. This step can be slightly more intense in color because a portion of it will naturally be softened later during setting. For the lips, Meng uses a multi-purpose cream product that can also double as a lip color. She first neutralizes the natural lip tone and lightly blurs the original lip shape, especially since the lips are quite dry and slightly flaky. This look is best paired with a deep nude lip liner not pink tones. Meng first enhances the natural Cupid's bow, slightly lifting it and shaping a soft V structure. The lower lip is currently a bit flat, so she gently extends the center downward first to increase volume. Then she reconnects the corners with a soft, rounded shape, avoiding any harsh extension beyond the lip corners, which would make the lips look messy or overdrawn. The upper lip edge is only lightly traced. There is no need to draw a continuous, hard line. Instead, she creates a soft, segmented structure that adds subtle shadow and dimension around the lip line. Then she blends the lip liner inward using her fingertip, diffusing the outline into a soft shadow rather than a defined border. The lower lip is also blended inward and upward for a fuller, more natural effect. Using a round brush, Meng applies the same brown nude cream product to the lips, blending from the center outward toward the edges. This prevents the harsh lip frame effect that can make lip color look heavy or dated. Instead, the color melts gradually into the lips for a soft gradients finish. To complete the look, she applies a clear lip gloss or lip oil on top. This adds hydration, smooths out lip lines, and gives a plump, healthy finish. At this stage, the complexion looks cohesive, dimensional, and softly structured. This kind of tone-on-tone makeup works especially well on tanned or sun-kissed skin. And even without heavy eye makeup, it already looks polished enough for everyday wear. Before finishing, Meng sets the face with a setting spray and lets it dry completely. Then she applies a translucent powder to lock everything in place without dulling the color. The goal is to preserve the natural tones of the makeup while ensuring longevity. The eye area must be set carefully and thoroughly, especially for monolids, because insufficient setting here can lead to creasing or smudging. Meng presses powder along the lower lash line, under eye area, smile lines, and areas with visible pores. These zones receive slightly more product. The edges are lightly dusted to avoid removing the glow of the skin, keeping a balance between matte control and natural radiance. Since the model has slightly oilier skin, this step is crucial to prevent makeup breakdown throughout the day. At this point, most of the makeup is complete, and only subtle finishing touches around the brows and eyes remain to finalize the look. For the eyebrows, Meng uses a contour shade as the base. Using an angled brush, she lightly taps and presses the product into the brows, then follows the natural brow shape to outline it. She starts from the middle of the brow and works outward, gradually building the overall structure. Even when creating a more wild brow or natural fluffy effect, Meng always builds on this base shape first. It's much easier to add hair-like strokes onto a structured brow than to create a shape from nothing. So the first step is always to establish the brow framework. For color, she prefers a light brown tone, which gives a softer and more harmonious Asian feature enhancement effect. For the tail of the brow, Meng switches to a smaller detail brush. She focuses on the inner section of the brow while keeping both edges of the brow tail softer and lighter. Instead of brushing horizontally back and forth, she applies color in gentle upward strokes against the skin. This helps the pigment sit naturally at the brow head without looking too harsh or blocky. She also lightly brings this shading down toward the inner eye area, enhancing the shadow beneath the brow and creating a deeper, more dimensional eye socket. Next, Meng uses an ultrafine brow pen in a deep brown shade to add hair-like strokes in the middle section of the brow. After the first layer of base shading, she goes in with a second layer of detail work, concentrating pigment in the central part of the brow. This step adds more definition and helps enhance overall facial structure. All strokes follow the natural direction of hair growth. She also adds a few upward flicks to mimic fine baby hairs, creating a soft, textured brow effect. For the brow head, Meng only fills in sparse areas rather than creating a heavy outline, since the brow already has enough natural thickness. Any gaps are filled with fine, light strokes. Then she uses a light brown brow mascara to brush the brows upward, lifting the hairs and creating a more airy, feathered texture. This is the kind of soft, hair-like brow that works especially well for Asian feature makeup looks. It keeps the face looking natural yet defined. Next, Meng gently lifts the eyelid and begins curling the lashes. She presses the curler at the lash root, ensuring the lashes are fully exposed before curling from the base for maximum lift and length. For eyeliner, she uses a reddish-brown eyeshadow or brow powder instead of a liquid liner, applied with a very small detail brush. She first deepens the outer corner, tapping the color on to increase opacity and slightly widen the eye shape by about 2 millimeters. Then she extends the line outward toward the brow tail area, creating a soft upward flick. From there, she connects it back toward the open eye position, forming a triangular structure. The center is filled in to complete the shape. Using eyeshadow instead of liquid liner allows for easier blending, correction, and a softer finish. For the inner half of the eye, Meng gently lifts the eyelid or raises the brow to expose the lash line clearly. She focuses only on deepening the lash line itself. The eyeliner gradually transitions from thicker at the outer corner to thinner toward the inner corner, creating a natural taper. The result is a soft, slightly lifted eye shape rather than a harsh graphic line. She lightly softens the edges with her finger so the line becomes diffused, keeping the area close to the lashes more intense while the edges remain soft. For the lower lash line, she deepens the middle section first, then connects it toward the outer corner so the intensity gradually fades at both ends. At the inner corner, she uses a more vertical brush angle to carefully fill only the lash line area, ensuring the product stays inside the natural lash boundary. Deepen the shade at the outer corner of the lower lash line. Blend it out further at the very end so the shadow is blended outward and downward. Any redness or pale areas along the inner lash line are gently corrected using remaining pigment on the brush. Next, Meng uses eyeshadow to softly define the under-eye agiosal shadow. She first identifies the natural crease created when smiling, then shades along it from the center outward using a slightly wider brush to avoid a harsh line. To highlight, she switches to a matte brightener, gently tapping over areas such as under eye hollows or uneven edges to smooth the shape and lift the area visually. She also refines the highlight the inner corner, blending it out to surrounding to avoid it looking like a white patch. She applies highlight carefully without exceeding the previously mapped contour boundaries, using the tip of the brush for precision. Then she reinforces the inner corner shape with a deep brown shadow, carefully outlining a pointed structure along the tear duct without overblending beyond the intended shape. Finally, she slightly lowers and softens the under-eye shadow at the outer corner so it connects seamlessly with the lower eyeliner. The result is a natural Asian feature eye look, no harsh black liquid liner, but a softly reshaped eye that enhances structure while still looking everyday and wearable. Meng starts with a volumizing mascara. She applies it from the lash roots upward, making sure to concentrate more product at the base of the lashes. This is important because the buildup at the roots helps support the lashes and keeps the curl in place throughout the day. If you only apply product on the tips, the lashes are more likely to droop. At the lash line, Meng gently wiggles the wand back and forth to coat every lash evenly before sweeping upward. The motion is similar to a lifting action, almost like reinforcing the curl. At the outer corner, she brushes the lashes slightly upward at an angle to enhance the lift. In the middle section, the strokes go straight upward to maintain structure, while the inner corner lashes are brushed slightly outward to open up the eyes. For the lower lashes, she keeps the wand more vertical to lightly lift and define them. By moving through the lashes in this way, each individual lash is evenly coated and placed into its ideal direction. After applying mascara, the lashes already look noticeably longer and more defined. At the very tips, Meng gently pinches them with her fingers to create a sharper, more separated finish. Next, she goes back to the eye makeup and refines the structure. Using a liquid eyeliner, she lightly reinforces the middle and adds a bit more depth to the outer corner, enhancing the overall definition of the eyes. For the lower lashes, she mimics natural lash strokes and fills in any sparse areas at the outer corner to ensure a smooth connection between upper and lower eye makeup. At this point, the look is already complete with mascara alone. False lashes are not necessary. If a more lifted curl is desired, Meng suggests using a heated lash curler after mascara application. Pressing it at the lash base helps push the lashes upward into a cleaner, more uniform curl. The same technique can be applied to the outer corner and lower lashes for a softer curved effect. However, this only works effectively after mascara has been applied. Without mascara, the heated curler alone will not hold the shape. Next, Meng enhances the blush slightly at the end of the routine. After defining the brows and eyes, the blush can sometimes appear a bit subdued, so she layers a little more to rebalance the color harmony across the face. She adds a soft layer along the inner cheek area, while avoiding the very center of the face where a lighter, highlighting tone has already been applied. Using the same blush, she also lightly taps it across the eyelids and blends it along the upper eye area using the edge of the brush. A small amount is also added to the lower eye area and nose tip, following the same structural placement used earlier in contouring. The key is not to sweep the product randomly, but to place it according to the original face structure and then softly diffuse it outward for a natural gradient. Finally, she adds small touches of highlighter to the high points of the face. The inner corners of the eyes are brightened again, echoing the pointed shape created earlier. A subtle shimmer is added to the nose tip, bridge, and brow bone area, sometimes mixing matte and shimmer textures for a more dimensional effect. This contrast between light and shadow enhances the depth of the eye socket and makes the facial structure appear more defined. A touch is also added to the center of the chin. To finish, Meng uses a very fine detail brush with a deep brown shade to add faux freckles and small beauty marks, enhancing the sun-kissed, natural atmosphere of the look. She starts around the nose bridge, where freckles naturally tend to appear more often. Slightly darker placement is fine at this stage. She then lightly dots the cheeks, where freckles often form in a soft gradient across the face. The center of the cheeks is kept slightly lighter for a more natural fade. Any areas that look too strong can be gently pressed with the fingertip to soften the pigment and blend it into the base. Additional freckles are lightly placed around the brow area and nose tip to complete the sun-kissed effect. And with that, the makeover is complete. What began as a flat, ineffective, everyday makeup look has now been transformed into a soft, wearable Asian feature-enhancing sun-kissed aesthetic. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye!